Hey guys, Dabu7. We often talk about all the craziness and the madness that's going to break loose in an end time scenario. We've talked about Project Bluebeam. We've talked about many of the different things they may try to pull off to make things go to their advantage, to have the people running to them. Well, there's something new that's just popped up on my radar here I wanted to share with you in regards to trying to manipulate the minds of the people down the road. And this has to do with a company that is now making fake fireballs, fake meteors. Therefore, they can create an apocalyptic type of setting in the atmosphere above unsuspected people, and they can sway it any which way they want. And with knowing this, they could have already been doing it. And I think it's important that folks pay attention to what's going on here. Now I'm going to show you a little bit here of what I'm talking about. And some of you may recall here recently me putting out a video showing this massive fireball coming down over top of Maine, upper New England, and it caught the attention of a lot of people. Well, I'm not saying that this one was a part of the project, but they have used this as an example of what this Japanese startup company called ALE is developing. They're saying that they could have a satellite that could produce man-made meteor showers anywhere in the world at any time. Now, they say that, like everything else, it will come at a cost at $8,000 per meteor. But when you're talking about world powers that view money as nothing because they can print it and make as much as they want out of thin air, this is nothing in terms of expenses when it comes to trying to pull off a deception worldwide. Now, I always say it comes down to the hearts of men and women, what they want to do with the technology they have at their disposal. We've talked about Project Bluebeam. We've talked about all the other things we've seen in the skies, all the deception. And I do truly believe that when they play that final card, they're going to use a lot of different things to their advantage to try to trick people into what's really happening. Now, for folks out there that may not be aware of this, say there's some people somewhere in Africa or in Indonesia or South America that never see this video or never hear about this information, and they are witnessing the spectacle in the sky of meteors, of fireballs, and they believe it to be some kind of phenomenon. It could also be well timed with something else, all to condition the people. If they put out something, there's supposed to be a prophecy of this big meteor shower that's going to happen on this date that doesn't coincide with anything else, and it just happens sporadically, and it's amazing and beautiful, all this different color. Well, and it seems more like a fireworks show. Well, these people are not going to know the difference. They're going to think whatever just came in from space is breaking up big time. And like always, anytime we see a fireball come in, we have no clue what it really is, what it was. If it was a rock, piece of space junk. But as you can see here, there is a way to try to get a bead on the chemical composition of an object as it's coming in. You can see here that calcium, sodium, magnesium, nitrogen, oxygen, iron, they all burn at a different color. So if you know this and you're witnessing things going down in the skies, if you know what color the object is that you're looking at, then you can relate to what elements it is burning off. Once you know what elements it's burning off, then you can look to see what it could be. If it could really be a fireball or a meteorite, if it could be some kind of nuclear or missile launch, something of that nature, or some other kind of technology or material that is burning up. Either way, I think the most important aspect of all this is to know that they have at their fingertips the means of launching massive fireballs in any given moment from these satellites. And they're actually planning for the opening ceremony of the 2020 Olympics to use this fake or man-made meteor shower. So, and that's all if there's going to be clouds or not over Tokyo at that given time. And knowing how they control weather and everything else, I'm sure they could clear the skies and do whatever they wanted to make sure that every person in the vicinity is going to see these fireballs raining down. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of test runs before then. There has to be. Where they're going to conduct those, yet to be seen, if they haven't already. But, with the technology they have these days and what they can do with these fireworks shows, they could let these things come in. They could glow something magnificent. And it just goes to show a combination of all these different things together in the sky, especially if they're laying blankets of chemtrails out there. If they have a blanket of chemtrail out there, different rows that have thinned out, even though it may be so thin you can still kind of see blue sky, it will still serve as a wall for something to be projected onto. And they've demonstrated this. They can fool a lot of people is what I'm saying. And with raining down fireballs and meteors and everything else, literally, what some people see here in the end could be full-scale man-made theatrics to trick the minds of the people to think that all hell's broke loose, Armageddon is here, and to go whatever route they want to take this down. All just part of the deception. But it all comes down to the hearts of men and women. Say it all the time. This type of technology truly could be pretty cool, to where you could have amazing light shows in different areas and this and that. But I can't stress enough that in an instance like this, to be able to control what people are thinking, especially, people on the ground that may not have access to technology, computer access, internet access, people that may be out in towns or villages out there that just may not ever come across this type of information. They're going to be the most vulnerable come this time frame, because they're never going to see this info, and it's just going to be all too much to take in at once at the end to say that, for them to think that they have the technology to pull any of this off. You see, fact is, they do. So, for what it's worth, wanted to make sure people see this, because I can't stress enough, I can feel and see right here with this technology someone trying to use this on a larger scale to their advantage, just to manipulate the minds of the people. So I'm going to leave a link with a lot more information here. It talks about what they're planning, some of the specifics into the different elements that they're going to be putting into these little cubes, or these little devices that will be deployed by satellite, and some even more background information on it here at space.com, where they're talking about it as well. So that's the latest. I'll continue to update with more as I come across it in terms of space events. You should have a pretty good chance right now, for those of you that have a backyard telescope, to look south here in the evening and see Mars in the sky associated with Arcturus. It should be shining pretty brightly, and then Saturn should be off in the distance as well. You'll be able to make out the rings pretty distinctively off of Saturn, and you'll be able on Mars to see the southern pole, which has an ice cap right now because it's going through its winter phase. You'll be able to see all that with the naked eye through your telescope right from your backyard right now, because it's coming into close proximity as far as space and Earth is concerned, and Mars and all that. They're coming at their closest points, and it's one of the best times to view them. So make sure to check that out if you can. And until next time, this has been Dabu7. Much love, y'all. Eyes to the skies.